I know I speak for all of us in saying how grateful we are for the time and the thought and the wisdom that you have given us today, Dr. DeBridge. Given us something to think about in 1959, and I think it will stand the test of 2059.
So how did we grow from being an idea to being an institution? Well, the idea was a good idea. That helped.
The most satisfying thing is always a commencement. That's it's always gratifying to find that we've got another bunch of seniors who are about to go out and see what they can do with a Harvey Mudd education.
The measure of the contribution of a college or a university is the record of its graduates. And our graduates have done well.
Another very satisfying thing from the early days is that we got some really quite able people on the faculty.
I believe we have a student body and a faculty of which we can be proud.
Well, as a matter of fact, I rather enjoyed being president. Well, 50 years ago, Harvey Mudd College had several trustees and a charter. Had no students, no alumni, no faculty. And now we have 5,000 alumni, a number of whom are at real risk of amounting to something. We'll be very interested to see what the next 50 years brings.
There once was a sprinter in action who lost his best race by a fraction. When he came to the tape, he had altered his shape by the Fitzgerald-Lawrence contraction. But the Fitzgerald-Lawrence contraction should not be so partial in action. If the loser was thinner, still more so the winner, the greater the final contraction. But the Fitzgerald-Lawrence contraction could be foxed by astute mental action. If at first he'd gone fast, then slowed down near the last, he'd stretch out to his great satisfaction. A little bit of Middle Eastern history from about 300 years ago. Oh, a maiden from the Bosphorus with eyes as bright as phosphorus once wed the mighty bailiff of the Caliph of Kalat. Though diligent and zealous, he was somewhat prone to jealousy. Considering her beauty, 'twas his duty to be that. Hurrah-zaram, oh, hurrah-zaram, glory, hallelujah, hurrah-zaram. It might be mentioned casually that blue as lapis lazuli, he dyed his lips, his lashes, his mustaches, and his beard. Just because he did it, he aroused his wife's timidity. Though bravely she dissembled, yet she trembled when he neared. Hurrah-zaram, hurrah-zaram, glory, hallelujah, hurrah-zaram. This feeling insalubrious soon made the girl lugubrious, and bitterly she missed her elder sister Marianne. She asked if she might write her to come down and spend a night or two, and Bluebeard answered rightly and politely, yes you can. Hurrah-zaram, hurrah-zaram, glory, hallelujah, hurrah-zaram. When business would necessitate a journey, he would hesitate, but fearing to mistrust her, he'd entrust her with the keys, bidding her most prayerfully, I pray you use them carefully, don't look what I deposit in the closet if you please. Hurrah-zaram, hurrah-zaram, glory, hallelujah, hurrah-zaram. Bluebeard the Monday following, his jealous feelings swallowing, packed all his clothes together in a leather-bound valise, and feigning reprehensibly, he started forth ostensibly by traveling to learn a bit of Smyrna and of Greece. Hurrah-zaram, hurrah-zaram, glory, hallelujah, hurrah-zaram. His wife made but a cursory inspection of the nursery, the kitchen, and the airy little dairy were a bore. Likewise large and scanty rooms, the billiard, bath, and handy rooms, but not that interdicted and restricted little door. Hooraz-a-ram, hooraz-a-ram, glory hallelujah, hooraz-a-ram. At last her curiosity, aroused by the closet he so carefully had hidden and forbidden her to see, this maiden disobedient did something inexpedient, and in the keyhole tiny turned the shiny little key. Hooraz-a-ram, hooraz-a-ram, glory hallelujah, hooraz-a-ram. She shrieked aloud convulsively and started back repulsively. 10 heads of wives he'd wedded and beheaded met her eye. Turning round most terrified, her darkest fears were verified. For Bluebird stood behind her, come to find her on the slide. Hooraz-a-ram, hooraz-a-ram, glory hallelujah, hooraz-a-ram. Now, knowing she was fated to be soon decapitated too, she telegraphed some brothers and some others what she feared. And Sister Ann went out for them in readiness to shout for them, and whenever in the distance with assistance they appeared. Hooraz-a-ram, hooraz-a-ram, glory hallelujah, hooraz-a-ram. But only from the battlement she saw some dust that cattle meant. The ordinary story isn't gory, it's a jest, and here's the truth unqualified. Her husband wasn't mollified, and her head's in the bloody little study with the rest. Hooraz-a-ram, hooraz-a-ram, glory hallelujah, hooraz-a-ram.